They don't take your power by force anymore. They take it by convincing you that you never had any. They tell men to relax, to be soft, to be more understanding. And while you obey, the world sharpens its knives. This is not equality, it's strategy. Because weak men are easier to control, and a man without power is no threat to anyone. Niccolò Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." But modern men have been trained to fear being feared. They want to be liked. They want to be approved. And that's how they lose everything. There was a time when men shaped empires with their hands and their will. A man's word was law, his silence, strength, his discipline unshakable. But now, men seek validation instead of vision. They scroll instead of fight. They escape into pleasure and call it freedom. Society has reprogrammed masculinity. What once made a man powerful, assertiveness, logic, dominance, leadership, has been demonized. You're told to apologize for being masculine. You're told that ambition is greed, discipline is obsession, and confidence is arrogance. And you believe it because you've been conditioned to. Machiavelli warned that when rulers grow comfortable, they lose their power to govern. Modern men have grown comfortable not because the world became easier, but because they were taught to run from difficulty. You don't build strength from comfort. You build it from resistance. But most men don't resist anymore. They comply. You see, power isn't just physical, it's psychological. And the most effective way to take power away from men is to make them forget they ever had it. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He wrote about manipulation, fear, and control, not as evil, but as truth. He saw what few dared to admit, that people don't want freedom. They want comfort. They don't want responsibility. They want relief. And that's the trap. When men seek comfort, they surrender control. When they seek pleasure, they surrender discipline. And when they seek approval, they surrender power. The world doesn't enslave you with chains anymore. It enslaves you with distractions. Every screen, every notification, every vice is a leash. And you wear it proudly because it makes you feel safe. You've become the perfect citizen, obedient, predictable, and emotionally fragile. That's not freedom. That's captivity, disguised as choice. Powerless men don't realize they're powerless. They think they're being good. They think being passive earns them peace. They think avoiding conflict makes them wise. But peace without strength isn't peace. It's surrender. And surrender isn't noble, it's cowardice. Weak men crave validation. They fear rejection. They seek permission. They overthink. They apologize for existing. They don't command. They conform. They don't build. They beg. The weak man wants to be loved by everyone, and that's why he's used by everyone. Power isn't given, it's taken, and it begins with one decision. Stop asking for approval. A Machiavellian man doesn't wait for permission. He moves with purpose. He understands that morality, respect, and loyalty mean nothing in a world built on self-interest. He plays the game and wins it. Look around. The masculine virtues that once held the world together, discipline, hierarchy, honor, control, are gone. Society calls them outdated. It rewards emotional fragility and punishes strength. They teach boys to fit in, not to lead, to obey systems, not to build them, to apologize for being assertive. And when men stop leading, others take control. When men stop thinking critically, they become followers. When men stop setting boundaries, they become disposable. That's how power dies, not with a bang, but with silent compliance. Every time you silence yourself to be nice, you lose a piece of your dominance. Every time you chase approval instead of purpose, you bury your potential. The modern world doesn't want powerful men, it wants obedient ones. Machiavelli believed that control was the foundation of all power. Control over others, yes, but most importantly, control over yourself. And that's where modern men fail most. They have no control over their desires, over their emotions, over their impulses. You can't dominate a world you can't even discipline yourself in. If you can't say no to lust, laziness, or weakness, you'll never say yes to greatness. A powerful man is not the loudest. He's the most disciplined. He controls what others can't. That's why the Machiavellian man thrives where others fall, because he knows every decision is a move on the chessboard of life. You can't fix society, but you can fix yourself. And when enough men do that, the world changes. Reclaiming power starts with silence. Stop explaining. Stop apologizing. Stop oversharing. Start observing. Start calculating. Start acting. Train your body, because strength commands respect. Discipline your mind, because focus builds empires. Control your emotions, because composure terrifies weak men and attracts strong ones. Machiavelli said, men should be either caressed or destroyed. The powerful man is the destroyer, not of people, but of weakness within himself. The world won't hand you respect. You must earn it through self-control, consistency, and purpose. The truth is, power never truly disappeared. It just changed hands. Men lost it the moment they stopped believing they deserved it. They gave it up to distraction, to emotion, to comfort. But now there's a silent awakening, a rebellion, not with violence, but with self-mastery. Men are beginning to rise again, one disciplined habit at a time. This is the Machiavelli Effect, the understanding that power isn't evil. It's essential, that control isn't manipulation, it's freedom, that strength isn't toxic, it's truth. A man who controls his mind, body, and destiny controls his world. So stop blaming the system. Stop expecting fairness. The world was never meant to be fair. It was meant to test who's worthy of power. Be the man who endures the test, because when strong men rise again, the weak tremble and order returns. Power isn't lost. It's just waiting for you to reclaim it. So rise. Train your discipline. Control your mind. Lead with silence. Because the world doesn't need more men who fit in. It needs men who stand out. And if you can do that, you'll understand exactly what Machiavelli meant when he said the greatest power of all is control.